What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video, and today we are going to be comparing the gameplay we got from ESports a couple of days ago in July, and we're going to be comparing it against the gameplay we got all the way back in March from Fire Announcement 1, which was just like 20 seconds of snippets, and the alpha gameplay that we got at the end of March. Now, it's actually only been 4 full months because we literally got the alpha gameplay on the 28th of March, and we got this newest gameplay on the 28th of July, I believe. So what we're going to do throughout this video is we're going to be comparing snippets. I'm going to be showing you the older stuff, and then I'm going to be showing you the newer stuff. And then at the end of the video, if you want to watch without my commentary, I'm going to be showing you guys both of them side by side throughout the whole clip, so you can see the complete gameplay side by side. And trust me, throughout editing this, I was tempted not even to post it. I was just tempted just to watch it myself. But through editing it and seeing the difference is mind-blowing, so let's get into it. We're going to be starting all comparisons with the gameplay in March, and we're going to be finishing with the gameplay in July, so let's get into it. So the first thing I'm going to show you guys is the movement from all the way back in March with Lyndon Arthur in the ring by himself. Obviously, there was no gameplay in the new videos where they had a fighter by themselves moving around, so I've had to try and compare as well as I could. Now, obviously, not only does the fighter move differently, the game look different, but it's things like lighting, like the ring. You really notice a huge difference in just 4 months of game development. Throughout this early alpha gameplay that we saw back in March, we can see Lyndon Arthur throwing a few shots, him bopping his shoulders. And obviously, back then it was still awesome. Still even now, it's still awesome. Now, we're going to have a look at the gameplay we got a couple of days ago in July. Now, we're not going to focus just on Lyndon Arthur here. We want to focus on the movement of both fighters. And we can see how Lawrence and Lyndon are both moving completely different from one another. Lyndon is very much tight to his stance, and Lawrence is very much more free-flowing, and you can see the difference from the first clip from Lyndon kind of dancing around to how Lawrence is dancing around. Just leaps and bounds, not to mention crowd lighting, the ring looks better. You can really see a huge difference in just this movement. And now we're going to have a look at the counter punches from all the way back in March, where we see Eddie Hall go under the shot and crack it, as well as cracking him with that nice body shot, and David Adelaide's step back jab. Now, back then, a common complaint was when Eddie Hall ducked under the hook, he looked very stiff. It was very much, you know, pre-planned, obviously, for the gameplay. But still, obviously, no complaints. Game still looked brilliant, and counters still looked really crisp. Now, I'm going to be showing you guys 2 separate clips from the gameplay in July. One of Lawrence and Lyndon both being rocked, and then a slightly longer clip with lots of head movement and counter punches. I want to focus on the head movement for this bit, as well as the counter punches themselves. And in this one, we can just see Lyndon Arthur moving around. He's going under all the shots. He's slipping clean. The pivots are really nice. He's still getting caught with a couple of jabs, but he's still slipping really nice. He's trying to get Lawrence's timing down. But he's moving under those hooks really nicely. He's picked up on the timing. He starts to pivot around. I mean, you can just see. I mean, my goodness, this gameplay is just, the more I watch it, the more it's fucking amazing. But the way, you know, they've improved things, just like the slips and the pivots, they could have left the movement the way it was with the head movement. But you can see the way Lyndon's going under those hooks, the way he's pivoting. Obviously, Lawrence's movement is slightly different as well, obviously, because, you know, a lot of fighters will have different movements. Then if we go back and now compare it again to the gameplay we had in March, you can really see the difference. This was a really fun one to do. This was Rocks and Knockdowns, and I used the gameplay from the E3 Future Game Show as well as the gameplay we saw in the first Fire Announcement, as the alpha gameplay back in March had no knockdowns. The E3 gameplay, however, and the first Fire Announcement did. And we can see, you know, Adelaide, Nelson, you know, a couple of calves all being knocked down, knocked out. Real nice animations that people generally fell in love with and really liked. There was no complaints about the way the bodies fell and the way the shots land. There was a few complaints, obviously, as there always is, but no real issues that anybody had with it. It all looked really good. The knockout animations were really clean. The way the bodies just collapsed was really entertaining. But now if we compare that to the gameplay that we got in July a few days ago, we can really start to see the improvement. Not to mention lighting. One thing I'll always mention is the lighting has been improved tenfold. It looks fucking excellent. The way people are now rocked and like and stumble around is epic. The way it's now looking like you can really counter by bouncing your opponent's shot off your shoulder and throwing your own nasty hooks. The different arenas they show in the knockdowns as well was really nice. Obviously, you've got the last clip where Lyndon has his opponent hurt and he's stumbling towards, still trying to throw a jab to keep Lyndon away, but it doesn't do enough and he ends up getting knocked out anyway. Now, this next one, is maybe my favourite. This is a huge flurry of shots that we saw in the alpha gameplay from all the way back in March, and a huge flurry of shots that include a lot of counter punches, admittedly, from the gameplay we saw in July. Now, if you guys remember, this gameplay in March was to show what the adrenaline mode is like, or the adrenaline zone that you get in. And Adley is just throwing his shots like a madman, and really good connections, missing a few, but all of the shots look good whether he missed or landed. He's mixing it up to the body, mixing it up to the head, and the flurry looked good. Eddie Hall was trying to defend himself, trying to pull back, dodged a few shots, but Adelaide definitely had the upper hand and was throwing a barrage of punches that all looked very clean, very calculated, really nice combinations all in all. However, we compared that to the gameplay we saw recently in July of Lyndon Arthur's movement from Lawrence trying to throw that heavy combinations, and Lawrence is all over the place. Then Lyndon returning the favour and trying to throw a huge flurry of shots, bouncing off the gloves. A few were landing on the body and on the head, but for the most part Lawrence is moving out of the way. But you can see the way those flurries land are just so nice. I mean, he's thrown so many punches. The combinations look so clean. You're not limited to a 1 or 2 punch combination. You're not limited to 4 or 5. You really can throw so many. As long as they link together nicely, you could throw so many shots and they all look so good. And the final clip here is Lyndon Arthur just unloading combinations on an opponent that's not really defending, which is very similar to the gameplay we saw back in March where Eddie Hall is just kind of taking shots from David Adley. This is a much better, closer representation of both the clips. But yet again, even shots that he's missing look really nice. Now, if we compare that to the gameplay that we saw back in March of David Adley tearing Eddie Hall to bits, we can just see insane growth, insane development throughout the game. It is really mind-blowing. To make this video is awesome. I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I've enjoyed making it. It's been so cool to look at the difference. And yes, both looked excellent. But one thing that we all pointed out, especially in this newest July one, was the lighting. Not to mention the combinations and the strikes and everything that look fantastic. The lighting looks awesome. And now what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm not going to waffle anymore. I'm going to put them side by side, which should only be about 6 minutes, or not even that, maybe about 3.5 minutes, just in case you guys want to see it at the end, because I'm sure it will look cool. But I thought it'd be better to do it one after the other while I'm talking, and at the end, you guys can see them side by side. But anyways, I'm going to end this video here, so thanks always for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.